Hey there guys, it's Young Volk here. And today I'm going to be doing a little story. This story is how I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! A very long time ago, but only recently I came into the competitive scene. This is going to be two stories pretty much. And my first story is very simple. I started playing Yu-Gi-Oh! When the Yugi and the Kaiba structure starter deck came out. My brother went for Yugi because he liked the anime and he liked Yugi as the main protagonist, as most people do. I, however, like Kaiba because he is the coolest person I've ever seen. Blue Eyes White Dragon had 3,000 attack, and there wasn't really a way to get around it, and it was just hella cool. And I couldn't see any way that any other duelist in there was better. Not even Yugi. You know, Yugi had the heart of the cards. But yeah, my brother and I have played Yugioh for a very long time. We got structure decks like every two or 3 weeks. So we built up quite the collection. A collection which I no longer have after I moved, which is sort of sad. But overall, it was just when we were 10, when I was 10 and younger. I'm 17 now, so that was quite a while ago. But we avidly collected Yu-Gi-Oh cards. My brother had a collection binder. I had a shoebox full of cards. And it was just amazing. We played Yu-Gi-Oh! I always lost to him because he could develop better strategies than I could. Eventually I beat him. And then and this was before I knew what archetypes were, or like rather how things naturally flow together if they're all based upon one central theme. So my decks have always been just random combo decks I threw together just so I could have fun. And I didn't think about any other cards unless I thought they looked cool. Which, hey, that attracts lots of people to different archetypes. Because if a card looks cool to you, you're certainly going to see if you can play it. This is why I love the Dracos, and that's why I have the Draco Specters. Because I like wind, I like dragons, I like the Dracos and the Draco Overlords, and I like Yada. Magic Spectre Crow Yada, at least. Favorite card of my entire Draco Spectre deck. But anyways, played for a while, and then as I grew older, I continued playing, but I still never really got competitive. I was always better than people around me, but that's simply because I had more experience, and that experience gave me a much better playing field, and I could get over people super easily. So that's how I came to just start playing Yu-Gi-Oh! And identify the game as a whole. Now, how I got into the competitive scene was, it started off quite a few years ago as well. I'm a junior, so 11th grade, 7th grade, I went to my first regionals. And I didn't learn about cash value and stuff like that behind cards until my sophomore year. So not too long ago, but I pulled an Ultimate Rare Madolche Tiramisu from a pack. I got regionals in my 7th grade year. I traded to somebody for like 2 of the Egyptian gods. One was Ra, and the other one was Obelisk, and they were both playable versions, so I wasn't stupid and going to trade for non-playable versions, because the guy wanted to hang out to Slifer. I wanted all 3, but hey. And that helped my game out a little bit, but it really didn't matter to me. And then I won again when I was in 9th grade to a tournament, and I went 4-4. In my 7th grade one, I went 1-3, and then I left because I thought there was only 4 rounds, and I thought I mistook the lunchtime for the time to leave. Plus, I was there with my mom, and she was continuously upset that I was there, and she stayed with me because there's lots of older people, and she didn't want me to just get taken away, and bam, you lost your child at a Yu-Gi-Oh tournament. I guess he finally got his game on. And that's how I would have been lost if I guess she had not been there. 9th grade I went 4-4. It was alright. It's still sort of silly. Ran my old beatdown deck, which I'll eventually do a profile on once I can rebuild it completely, because it was such a long time ago that I had that deck. and it's still so silly. I love it still, but I don't have most of the cards for it because I traded it for my first archetype deck, bringing me into the top of competitiveness, the Arcana Force. The Arcana Force, it was all I ever wanted in an archetype. It was they were light, being one of my two favorite types, light and wind. They were light. They had all coin flip effects, meaning I could tech in my dice jar, my favorite card of all time, and it was just always a gamble. Problem was I was awful with flipping coins, so I'd always get like the tails effect, and I'd get destroyed like almost instantly. And really, it was just I didn't have much skill building decks. I didn't get my deck building skill until this year. But yeah, that was just that deck was a flop, and I still have the cards for it, but I can't. I realize now that it was just more of something that was thrown together rather than something that was actually like structured and organized. Then the second deck I went on to starting to compete was the first deck I ever took to locals. The Watts. The Watts being the amazing thing that they were. Just they worked pretty well, and then eventually I started narrowing down just how to get the Watt lock, like first turn. But this was during the age of full power Pepe, so I wasn't really doing much because they just get rid of everything on your board and then kill you instantly. And against it didn't target, so I mean I was sort of screwed. So I could probably pick them back up now, but I'm not doing that until I can make sure that they're actually going to be like semi-decent. Then I went to Cephalon OTK, another deck that I took to tournament. This was in December of last year, so I didn't start playing until like a couple of months ago. So didn't start playing competitively until a couple of months ago. But in December last year, took Cephalon and Watts there, got my shit wrecked pretty easily by guys running full power Pepe. So that sort of sucked. And then I couldn't muster up the money to go to tournaments after that. So mainly I just took my time and started working on how I built my decks. And that's how I eventually came to build Speedroids by training with my friend Sean, who had quite a few of them since he had gotten 2 boxes of high speed riders, which I didn't even know that box was at that time. Then Breakers of Shadow came out. That gave me all the rest of the cards I needed for the Speedroids to complete them. It wasn't until like mid-February where I realized I could make it a purely OTK based build. And that's how the Speedroid OTK / FTK deck profile came about, and I just love it so much. It's so much fun. But I just don't play as much with the Draco Spectre since I want to get my gameplay in with them first, since they're my competitive deck. Then eventually, I came to where I am now. The Draco Slayers. I've been to quite a few tournaments. Just last Saturday, I top 2'd out of 45 at GameCon 6, and it was just amazing. I mean, I came second place to somebody who was going at the first place guy was running full blown Cosmos. I wasn't really expecting to win. He blew up my scale 4 times in the first turn, so that's how I knew I was gonna get destroyed. But honestly, it was an amazing thing to do, and I really had fun doing that. I got 180 sleeves, like perfect sleeves, so now the Draco Spectres are finally well sleeved. And overall, I just had an amazing time. One of my friends went to, and I got 3 of my friends to sign a card, so I can just keep that as a piece of memorabilia. And that's how I got to start playing competitively. I just started last December because we all voted to go to a tournament. Me and the rest of my friends at school. We all got destroyed and all pretty much swore to make new decks because of how badly we all lost. I mean, we were going against full power Pepe, so I don't know what we expected. But anyways, guys, thanks for watching. That was just my short little story of 2 stories of how I came to start playing Yu-Gi-Oh competitively and just like a timeline of what's been happening throughout my Yu-Gi-Oh career. This has been a very personal video for me, and I really enjoy if anybody watched this all the way to the end. So please like, comment, subscribe. Commenting is the most important thing to me because it's the easiest way for me to directly interact with you. And I have an entire schedule for May now, so I'm going to be able to keep up with consistent uploads as long as nothing crazy happens. But overall, it should be a good month. A good second month of the channel, because last time I started halfway through the month. I'd like to see how well this goes throughout an entire month. But anyway, guys, thanks for watching. I hope you guys tune into my next video and watch my previous videos. But either way, Young Volk out.